after the events with King Ghidorah and the future vision, Japan realized their mistake and realized that they need to build their own defense against Godzilla if he ever was to become a threat. Unlike in the original timeline of the Heisei era, Mothra will not appear since most likely humans will decide to practically design taking control themselves, knowing that if they were to fight Godzilla, they must do it themselves. So they're much more confident in trying to take down Godzilla by themselves. So the reveal of Mothra and Batra will not happen, since this will be much more earlier in the timeline, meaning that the battle between Godzilla and his mechanical counterpart will begin now. Of course, the humans were able to practically salvage the mechanical head of Mecha King Ghidorah. With this advanced technology, they were able to leap far beyond the bounds of what they've ever imagined. With technology from around 200 years in the future, this will give them just enough resources. With, of course, the creation of Mechagodzilla being able to be constructed after around 10 years. With the mech finally being built, it was not even fully operational, and also had an also adaptive feature to Godzilla's new ability, which the humans had to call it a Zenkai boost, something that basically makes Godzilla stronger the more damage he takes. But in Mega G's case, he can basically absorb Godzilla's boost in power after an injury, basically absorbing it and converting it to his energy core, making it so that he gets stronger as Godzilla tries to attack him or if he tries to heal himself, which of course is something that they were able to practically do. The G-Force, of course, were able to also build the Garuda ship, which was one of the secondary most powerful weapon next to Mechagodzilla himself. Of course, it didn't have the necessary firepower to be comparable to Godzilla or Mechagodzilla, but it was still pretty powerful in its own right, since it could actually take down other titan or kaijus in the matter. But of course, G-Force also were able to found the infant baby Godzilla, who was basically hatched after a battle between Godzilla and Rodan, which would have taken place. Of course, the young girl Mikasa were able to practically take care of baby, and eventually the scientists were able to realize that baby had a second brain in his hips. And since Godzilla basically stands on a similar build as baby, means that he most likely has the same weakness as him. So they wanted to practically use baby Godzilla as a distraction for the big G so they can take him down as Mechagodzilla. Of course, this plan was kind of bringing conflict between the people, since some believe that Godzilla did not deserve this fate, while others believe that they should take him down for the greater good. Of course, things was a big conflict between the two, and due to the appearance of Baby, it even conflicted much more people, since they realized that not every monster will actually be evil, and even someone like Rodan was actually protecting Baby. So it means that Titans do have soft hearts, but they're not sure about Godzilla himself. So they decided to still win with their plan, as G-Force had to practically do it. Of course, when Godzilla did appear in the city, he was confused, as if he felt a similar pattern to his, though much more younger. Godzilla was confused as he walked around, trying to sense where Baby was. He was confused until he was attacked. Of course, Godzilla roared, seemingly enraged as he looked around, pondering where the attack came from. But before he can do anything, he was hit again in the back, feeling slightly injured, but it was able to heal instantly, gaining another Zenkai boost. But for some reason, it was weaker. It was not as the same as his other ones. Is he hitting his limit? No, it's something else. He feels it. Someone just absorbed his energy. Of course, Godzilla then looks to his dorsal plates and eventually realizes that something is piercing him. Then taking out a drill almost the size of his palm, then crushing it. Godzilla growls, it roars, and eventually looks to the side, seeing Mechagodzilla standing on top of a mountain, glaring back at Godzilla with his yellowish eye. Godzilla growls, seemingly implying that he does not even like the robot one bit, and he hates that the humans trying to practically do another attempt of killing him. This just shows that humans will never change. He saved them once when he was just a mere dinosaur, and now they just want to kill him. Is this really his fate? To always fight humanity itself? Is this his fate forever? Godzilla would continue to ponder that. But then Godzilla didn't want Godzilla to ponder it for too long and eventually rushed at him. With his immense speed, the mech was able to bash at Godzilla. Godzilla was in shock as the mech's speed was immense. But then that was not the only surprising thing, as the mech also had a plasma blaster, as it was able to absorb Godzilla's breath and eventually showed multiple missiles. As Godzilla fell, he felt the immense pain, and of course it shot a gamma burst blast at Godzilla, making him fall to the ground as he roared in pain. The Zenkai boost he was able to gain was immense, but it was not enough, as the Guru ship also appeared, blasting Godzilla. Godzilla screamed in pain, as the Guru ship was seemingly absorbing all the healing energy he has preserved, meaning that those two weapons were basically made for him to not utilize his Zenkai boost ability, but he can still utilize his absorption ability. So utilizing the electricity that Mechagodzilla was practically shooting into his body, Godzilla was able to practically resist and eventually free himself. But of course, both the Garuda and Mechagodzilla continued to assault Big G, seemingly trying to take him off guard. Eventually, that was able to work, as Godzilla started to lose ground as Mechagodzilla was gaining the upper edge. With G-Force coordinations, they were easily able to overpower Godzilla with their battle tactic. But Godzilla was able to adapt slightly. Even if he was weakened, he was still able to put up a better fight than they expected. As though he was injured and could not utilize his Zenkai boost ability, he was still a tough opponent nonetheless. But of course, when the Garuda and Mechagodzilla fused together, they formed Super Mechagodzilla, the most powerful weapon of the G-Force themselves. It was basically a secret that only the G-Force themselves knew, which was even more powerful. Of course, Godzilla was in shock, as he could feel in the power of this mech. He was so much powerful, and its pressure alone could make him shake slightly. Godzilla, of course, gritted his teeth and roared back at the mech, as the mech roared himself, and eventually blasted Godzilla. Godzilla screamed in pain, but he felt his ability kicking in. Due to an injury being so severe, the Zenkai boost ability instantly kicked in, eventually allowing Godzilla to once again get a Zenkai boost and get stronger. But the mech sensed that and eventually fired a plasma blaster at Godzilla, absorbing some of his energy and increasing its core power. But of course, G-Force realized that it cannot do this forever, as the core will most likely overflow and they have to exert all the energy in one blast. And if they do, the mechs will most likely shut down or will not be able to be properly used because of the consumption of energy. Though the battle between Mecha G and Godzilla continue on, it seems like it was a pretty even. But Mechagodzilla was still having the upper edge due to his fight capabilities and being much more maneuvering. But of course, Godzilla was fallen down after Mechagodzilla was able to pin him down, shattering his butt brain as he was about to die. Of course, baby Godzilla then roared as Pharaoh then saw everything and eventually rushed to Godzilla's aid, but he was blasted off. Having Pharaoh saying goodbye, he sacrificed his life force and fused it with Godzilla, seemingly utilizing his abilities and transferring all his power and soul into Godzilla. Godzilla then stood up as a yellowish aura covered him. As the particles of Rodan's soul covered Godzilla, Godzilla in his mind thanked Rodan. Even though he tried to kill him once they saw each other, he actually could not believe that someone would sacrifice themselves to keep him safe. Godzilla, now motivated to protect Rodan and even protect Baby, roared at the mech. His eyes now orange, seemingly filled with power, as you could feel the fire in his heart burning even further. It was not just an atomic energy within it, but his own power. It was so much higher. It was like a blazing sun. No, even further. A nova, a supernova itself. Godzilla then glared at the mech. Of course, the mech was able to blast Godzilla, but he felt an immense heat from Godzilla. Even with its diamond coating, you could feel itself melting. G-Force was also affected by the immense heat, as Godzilla himself was just radiating heat so much comparable to a sun, if not even an explosion from a sun. It was almost unbelievable, as he could not even believe that Godzilla had that much power after being injured and almost near death. Godzilla did not only gain boosts thanks to Rodan, but Rodan just boosted even more because the Zenkai boost also increased Godzilla's power over 1,000 times over, not just by the boost he just gained from Rodan. And Godzilla then roared, firing a spiral heat ray. Infused with both red and orange energy, he was able to blast the mech. The mech, of course, tried to practically retaliate, blasting it with his own rainbow plasma beam, but it was no use, as Godzilla's spiral heat ray was so much powerful that it annihilated the mech, leaving nothing but melted iron and diamond coating. The G-Force was able to escape safely, just barely, with one of the pilots dying, but the rest were able to survive. Godzilla just glared at the humans, but he didn't just turn around, decided not to bother. He knows that humanity will still continue to be his enemy, but if he continues to harass them so much, they most likely became much more big of a hassle, so he decides to leave. Of course, Baby then looks to Mikasa. With Mikasa utilizing her telepathy to tell Baby to go with Godzilla. Of course, Baby Godzilla then will nod at her, and suddenly it seems like he was thanking her, and eventually leaves with Godzilla. Of course, Godzilla is confused as he looks to Baby Godzilla, but he decides not to bother with it, since Baby is just like him, a misunderstood being, but at least the humans took care of him. He then looks to Baby, as Baby just looks at him, seemingly looking to his parent. Godzilla felt something in his chest, a warm feeling that he has never felt before. He could not describe it himself, but he could feel that it was very pleasant. Godzilla then looked to Mikasa slightly, and eventually nodded his head, seemingly implying that he thanked her, and eventually he leaves with Baby, leaving to Birth Island, where he establishes home. Alongside Baby, as they decide to move on with their lives. As Godzilla Titan threatened Earth, at least for now. But little did Godzilla knew is that a threat he never expected would have appeared. A threat that he defeated so long ago has came back and has even become new and more powerful. But will the G-Man be able to face it, or will he fall to someone even more powerful than himself? We will just have to see in the next part. Hope you guys enjoy us. I will see you next time. Bye.